All right, hello. So our AMRE project is about increasing dog licensing compliance. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Kate.
And we were advised by Dr. McConnell and Dr. Vizante. So first, we were tasked to identify why compliance is low in Wayne and Holmes County and different ways to improve and streamline the licensing process. We were also tasked with identifying marketing promotions and techniques to increase licensing, creating incentive programs to encourage licensing, and come up with other creative revenue generating methods to help out the shelters.
We had two clients. The first was the Wayne County Dog Shelter. And in Wayne County, our main focus was on individual dog owners. And we looked at their marketing processes and created a year-long marketing timeline for them. We also researched new online software options for their licensing online. Our second client was the Holmes County Dog Shelter. And in Holmes County, one of our biggest focuses was the Amish and rural dog breeders. It's a particularly touchy subject among the Amish community because a lot of Amish dog breeders have left other more traditional occupations like farming and woodworking, and it's not a talked about thing in the community as much. So we also evaluated their marketing practices and created a marketing timeline for them as well. So many people don't realize this, but dog licensing is the law in Ohio. All dogs have to be licensed in the county they live in. And this is part of the Ohio Revised Code, Chapter 955 and 956. Part of that is also dog kennels, and they have to be licensed either by the state if they're a high volume dog kennel, or if they're a low volume dog kennel, they're licensed by the county. And our clients were the dog shelters, but the county auditors also play a big role in licensing as they're the ones who are actually mandated to sell and keep track of dog licenses.
So licensing is actually really important for the community and the shelters themselves, as the shelters gain 100% of their revenue from these licensing sales. So often these licensing sales can go to spay and neutering programs in the shelters and just ways to care for the dogs that are there. Licensing is also a way to prove your ownership over your dog, and that also helps reduce stray populations. And as well as licensing your dog helps protect the community because it's accounted for and can be taken care of properly. Next, some reasons for low compliance. These are mostly individual ownership-based reasons. A lot of people think that licensing is not required in their community. They view licensing as an unnecessary fee or tax. They may not know how to license. They think that the cost of licensing is too high. There's no active enforcement of this licensing in their community. They don't really see the benefit to licensing. They forgot to license, or they just think that the whole licensing process is inconvenient and too complicated. So these are some reasons that we kind of address in our marketing plan and how to maybe get these people to then license.
So in our research, we decided that we needed to have interviews and meetings with people who had different perspectives on dog licensing and the licensing process. So we did site visits at both of the dog shelters, and we met with several marketing professionals who have experience working in this rural area of Ohio. And then we also had meetings with two other Ohio counties, Franklin County and Cuyahoga County, who have very robust licensing program, and we wanted to learn more from them. We also met with a veterinarian who has over 50 years of experience in Wayne County, and then to get more information on the Amish perspective and why they might not license their kennels and their individual dogs, we met with an Amish breeder and an Amish bishop. We also attended a software webinar for DocuPet, which is an online dog licensing software. And we talked with counties around the United States who use DocuPet to gain insight on their feelings about DocuPet and whether or not it was a good option for Wayne and Holmes County. So based on our research and these interviews, we came up with several marketing suggestions for both counties, and we organized them into 3 different categories: virtual, print, and other. Virtual marketing is very important, especially now in the age of social media and with so many people having access to the internet. And in our conversations with the marketing professionals and with other counties in Ohio, they really stressed things like Facebook advertising, especially in a rural area where more traditional media still costs a lot of money, but the reach is less because you're seeing less people. So that was one of our biggest recommendations, was for the counties to have robust, planned Facebook advertising campaigns, especially during licensing season, which is from December to January. We also recommended them using email campaigns, especially ones that are personalized. Other counties in Ohio had great experience with this, and they had high click-through rates and saw an increase in licensing from these.
And some other of the print suggestions include flyers with QR codes. This is one of our biggest ideas, and having a QR code on the flyer will allow people to just easily take a picture and scan and get to the licensing form immediately without having to go through a mailing process and writing a check. It's just a lot easier for them. In addition, we've suggested some print advertising, particularly for Holmes County, and reaching various Amish populations. There's a couple different newsletters that go out to a lot of different Amish households, so advertising in those would be a great way to reach them. In addition, we suggested door knockers. It's a really personal way to kind of go up to someone's house and leave a door knocker and let them know the law and like really just bring the information to them. And similar with postcards, that really delivers the information straight to people and kind of lessens the amount of work that the dog owner will have to do. Some other suggestions we have are strategically placed billboards on busy roads and website updates to make it a little bit easier for dog owners and people to just view the website and navigate it. So our final product included a written report, and this was just written out ideas of all of our suggestions and in-depth descriptions of it all, as well as some software recommendations. As Kate mentioned earlier, we recommended DocuPet, which is just a lot more user-friendly than the current software. And we created an in-depth marketing plan of how they can go about implementing all of these different strategies.
To go with the marketing plan, we also created an in-depth timeline for them to use starting now through next summer, and it can be used in subsequent years as well. And that puts all of our suggestions in the marketing plan in different weeks throughout the year so they know when to implement certain things. We also gave them a lot of branding advice and provided them with samples of posters and postcards and updated licensing forms that all had the same brand, the same logo, and the same slogan and colors to create that consistent message across all of their advertising platforms to increase the recognition by dog owners across all these different marketing techniques. Thank you for listening to our presentation. We hope you enjoyed it.